Welcome to another episode of Midnight Cowteen. Today I will talk about Danny Collins and, well, I'm actually gonna let the other movie be a surprise. Because it's something very special. You'll understand soon. So Danny Collins is about a man named Danny Collins, who has lived quite a wild life as a rock star. Or, well, he doesn't, it's not really rock, but he lives like a rock star anyway. And this keeps up for about 40 years until he finds out from his manager that he got a letter from John Lennon. That's right, John Lennon of all people. Unfortunately, the letter wasn't delivered while John was alive, so he can't answer to him. But Danny is very affected by this letter and decides that he needs some serious changes in his life. He realizes that he's been, that his life has been shallow and meaningless for a long time. And so, after finding out how his wife cheated on him, he decides to desert to a hotel and start a new life. This is quite the amazing movie. Al Pacino, what do you expect? Al Pacino is fantastic. You really believe his character, and he plays it with such a wonderful conviction and enthusiasm. He makes him so incredibly charming and sympathetic, as he succeeds with many of his roles. Well, Scarface was more of an asshole, but he succeeded with that role very well too. Anyway, his one-liners and general attitude to everything is very entertaining and interesting to watch, and makes for incredibly entertaining but also emotional viewing. He might seem like this happy-go-lucky type at first, but he's not really. It turns out he has a lot of problems which he failed to resolve because he was so focused on being a rock star instead. Christopher Plummer as his manager, he's incredible too. I got to check out more of this guy because he was really great in this movie. And the manager character wasn't the stereotypical manager. The manager character was very likable too, and you felt sympathy for him as well when he worried about Danny and his money. And you can really believe the two of them are friends. Annette Bening plays a receptionist who Danny quickly takes some interest to and falls in love with. And she was really good. I liked the relationship between her and Danny. It felt believable enough for the movie. I liked the way they interacted with each other. They had very different personalities, but they seemed to mix really well with each other. Bonnie Cannibal as Al Pacino's son, who hasn't seen very much. He was pretty good. I found him a little annoying at first, but when you find out more about why he's like this, and get a deeper understanding of him and his father's troubled relationship, you care about his character more. Cannibal is yeah, I liked them a lot in this movie. The story, it's an inspirational one. I mean, that you get tired of being in the same old rut and want your life to change up a little. It's something we all can relate to. And you know, even though he has some um, bumps when trying to change himself, it's still a very, you know, uplifting movie. I think the message of Danny Collins is something I think we can all learn from. And the direction by Dan Fogelman, who also wrote the script. This is this directorial debut, but I think he did a great job. He felt confident with his script and directed the movie, you know, very well. It's loosely based on a true story too, which I, you know, take with a grain of salt because true story kind of is a norm with most of us kind of biographical movies, but we get to see some footage at the end of a real Danny Collins who has a different name, and I quite like that. I won't spoil exactly what that footage is, but I think you'll find it really interesting when you get there. So yeah, that's all. I loved this movie. It was a very emotional journey. While I did laugh a lot, I almost cried too because it got so intense. The relationships, you know, the relationship between the Danny and his son was heartbreaking. You felt for these two. The only flaw I have, it's not a very big one, but there are some moments which, you know, were a little cliche. Like there's a dinner scene with Danny and this woman he has fallen in love with, and I found the acting by Benin to be a little overdone, and the dialogue wasn't the best there either. It felt like something you have heard in many other movies. Aside from that, it was a really phenomenal movie. Definitely one of Pacino's best later ones. So if you're a fan of the man, like me, go see it right away. You won't be disappointed. Alright, time for the next movie. You're probably wondering what the movie it is, since I have been so secretive about it. Well, it's Justin Bieber, Never Say Never. What if I do want to say never, bitch? Let's start off with a good thing. There's only one thing, because what can I really say about this movie that is positive? I am surprisingly invested at first. We get to see Bieber during his childhood, how he was growing into quite a talented young man who could not only sing but also play drums, play guitars, play the piano, you know, pretty much any kind of instrument. And I was thinking, hey, this isn't too half bad. I could actually enjoy a movie of this. For the first 5 minutes. For the first 5 minutes, I was a little interested in this movie. That is it. After that, the movie only becomes worse and worse and worse. Can you even call this shit a documentary? It's not. After the first 5 minutes of Bieber's child, all you get to see is footage of people praising him endlessly, like, oh, Bieber's so great, I love Bieber, blah, blah, blah. And the footage with the crowd fans is the fucking worst. It is so cringe-worthy. All these people act like they wanna fucking marry or something, even though it's nothing more than, you know, just a very generic singer. And it's really sad as well. You see at first how he does have talent. He can sing and he can play instruments really well. But instead, he chooses to do this very cliched, boring as hell sounding songs. It's all he does nowadays, and it's very sad actually. He could have been something more, but he chose not to be and do this cliched bullshit all the time instead. You know, you just hear these fans, these celebrities talk about, oh, he's so great. Yeah, I get it already. You said about 1 million times how he's great, but we never get any actual real personal insight, because guess what? Bieber never gets to speak for himself. Never. Sure, you would probably sound egoistic and shit, but anything is better than just these people endlessly blabbing about how he's so goddamn fantastic. It gets extremely boring, and you know, it just feels like a commercial. And this movie is so poorly edited as well. It just goes back and forth between his childhood and his present life all the time. You never really get a clear focus of him building up to stardom. We just get these brief flashes of his past, and then back to the goddamn concert scenes. Oh yeah, that's the worst thing about this movie. The concert scenes, where he sings his unfathomably boring, dull, uninspired music with the fans screaming. I mean, I could have tolerated 2 or 3 concert scenes, because after all, this is a Justin Bieber, you're gonna get a little of that. But when we are every other minute, it gets incredibly tiresome. I mean, I know this is about his, you know, concert career a lot, but come on! This isn't a movie about his backstory, how he became a singer. It's just a fucking 90-minute commercial, which consists of mostly, you know, concert scenes. This movie is 90 minutes long, as I said. Well, the concert scenes are probably 1 hour in total. I'm serious. I wouldn't be surprised if there were 1 hour in total, because there were so fucking many. After a half hour, it could span about 20 minutes of concert scenes. And there is a montage in this movie as well, which pretty much showcases Justin Bieber, and it is so idiotic and stupid that it's on the likes of a Miley Cyrus music video. That's how crummy it is. Look, I don't think Justin Bieber is the worst musical artist ever. Very certainly worse ones. But he doesn't deserve this overly applauding feature film about him. And definitely not one which is just a fucking commercial in disguise. This is not a documentary, it's a commercial. So if you want to see more about how, Bieber is so great, sure, watch this movie, whatever. But if you want to see an earnest documentary about what kind of man he is, whether you hate him or not, you will despise this movie. You will absolutely hate it like I did. Because this tells nothing of what we don't already know. All the hype you heard around Bieber, it's all this movie. What kind of life, what kind of personal life he has? Not very much. I hate this piece of shit movie very much, as you can notice. So, what other rating can I give it than a 1 out of 10? That's right. I hate it even more with Shalik Deluxe. This movie really is awful. It's the worst documentary I've ever seen. But what I really don't understand is, after everyone except the stupid fans absolutely trashed this movie, I mean really trashed it, how in the hell has he continued to make more movies? How? What the fuck? He's made about at least 5 movies since. How? Why do these studios hire this guy? So yeah, that was it. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Well, enjoy it more than Justin Bieber never say never, at least. And stay tuned for next time.